This is the Chris Cross Show. I'm back and I'm in a new setting. I'm actually in a new state. I'm very, very happy to be back, and I have an action-packed episode for you today. I have my top 10 favorite NBA player rankings. I have a way too early NBA rankings. I also have a fly on the wall segment, a something, nothing, and everything segment, and also an update on my time in my new state so far. So anyways, enjoy. As you know, before I begin every episode, I have to show you a jersey. And this jersey is very, very meaningful. It's a LeBron James Jordan number 6 jersey. I know I have like 1,000 LeBron jerseys. I have one from Miami, from Cleveland, from the Lakers. I have countless numbers of these. But this one's very, very special to me because this was a gift by my students, actually. So this was very, very meaningful. My 7th grade students all came together when they found that I was leaving, and they decided to get me a LeBron jersey, which is very, very nice. I love it. It's awesome. It's a new jersey, again, the number 6. It's not the 23. So I just want to say thank you to them. And, back to the regular scheduled program. So before I begin all my segments today, I just want to talk about my time so far in San Antonio. So as you guys know, I was based in Chicago and now I'm in San Antonio. So my time in San Antonio so far has been short. I've been here 2 weeks, roughly 2.5 weeks. As you guys know, I'm a runner, so I have ran 2 races, and just recently I fainted in my last race from heat exhaustion. It was a race at 6 p.m. and I fainted after my race. I was able to finish. I came in second place. I've come in second place a lot. I've never finished first. But I fainted from heat exhaustion, was rushed to the hospital. They gave me IV fluid. I've been fine since then. So I've been going to the gym, Lifetime San Antonio. I don't really have any friends. I've gone to the races to make friends, and that race that I went to, they have like a huge celebration at the end. So I was hoping to meet some people there. Obviously, I didn't make it to the end because I fainted, so I missed out on the party. I do have a job lined up, which I'm really, really happy to talk about later when it's actually finalized. But yeah, that's my time in San Antonio so far. So anyways, back to the regular scheduled program. So I'm going to start off with my way too early NBA rankings. So the NBA season ended, I think it was June 16th, with the Warriors hoisting up the trophy. So I'm going to go from 10 to 1 being obviously the best. So number 10, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, wait on this. The New Orleans Pelicans went all the way to the NBA playoffs, took the Phoenix Suns, the number 1 seed Phoenix Suns, all the way to 6 games. Obviously, CJ McCollum came mid-season. Brandon Ingram started to catch form. No Zion. They had a couple good players. Their coach, Willie Green, has been pretty good for them. So I think the Pelicans are going to take a step and obviously make some noise in the NBA. I think they're going to be in the playoffs. They're definitely going to be a top 6 seed if they play like they played last towards the very end of the season. So I'm going to give the New Orleans Pelicans a number 10 ranking there. Number 9, and this was hard because I wanted to put them higher based off of their trades earlier today. 9 is the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Denver Nuggets are my 9th place just because of their transactions today. So they acquired Caldwell Pope, most notably. I think Ish Smith also, but most notably Caldwell Pope. Jamal Murray, if he comes back and he's at least 80% of what he was before his injury, he'll be good. Michael Porter Jr., if he comes back, he'll be good. Nikola Jokic, obviously after his MVP season, he'll be good. So I think they're going to gel pretty good. They're going to be definitely in that top 6 seed for sure in the Western Conference. Number 8, the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Dallas Mavericks made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals after surprising everyone and beating the Phoenix Suns in 7 games. The Dallas Mavericks added Christian Wood. Again, I don't know how good Christian Wood is because everyone tells me he's good, yet he was in Houston and he sucked in Houston. So again, I need to see a little bit more convincing. They're probably going to lose Jalen Brunson, which is why I put them a little bit lower than probably a lot of people expected, because Jalen Brunson was huge for them in the playoffs. So taking that huge loss and adding Christian Wood, again, it's kind of a balance where I think it's more of a subtraction than an addition, because Jalen Brunson did so much for them, especially when Luka was out in the first couple games in the first round of the NBA playoffs. So Dallas is going to be 8. 7 is Phoenix. Phoenix is probably going to lose DeAndre Ayton, and if they keep him, it's going to be a little awkward if they don't extend him. So I put Phoenix down there at 7 just because Chris Paul really showed his age in the NBA playoffs. And this year, I think he's 37 this year, and he's going to show it. He's a small player. He's gone through a lot of injuries. I don't know how productive he's going to be with this team. So I put the Phoenix Suns at 7 just because of all those unknowns that we don't know so far. Number 6, the Boston Celtics. Everyone's like, oh, the Boston Celtics won the Eastern Conference. Why? Well, Jason Tatum was a roller coaster this year, and Jaylen Brown, again, was like, am I the guy? Am I not the guy? So they just have a lot of what ifs or question marks. And I know they won the Eastern Conference. I know they were a great dominant defensive team. But again, they beat a Brooklyn team that was like, whoa, they were kind of juggling a lot of things. And they beat a Milwaukee team without Chris Middleton. And they obviously, they beat a Miami team with, they could have lost if Jimmy Butler hit that 3-point shot. So again, we like to look at Boston as an amazing, great team. But we also got to realize that, yes, they got hot at the right time, but that's a lot of teams, right? So I put Boston at 6 because I do believe that they are going to come back a little bit more hungry and whatever. So number 5, the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are a good team. A lot of people overhype them. A lot of people think that they're going to win the NBA Finals this year. I don't. I think they're too young. I think they talk a lot on Twitter. So I think that the Memphis Grizzlies got to humble themselves a little bit. Right now, they're just like all talking on Twitter, attacking Shaquille O'Neal, fighting back with Charles Barkley, just fighting back with Draymond Green and all this other stuff. So calm down, Memphis. It'll be all right. You know, just focus on your game, go to the gym, and focus on being better and how you can beat the Warriors next year. Number 4, the Brooklyn Nets. Now everyone's like, oh, Brooklyn, they were terrible. They didn't even win a game in the playoffs last year. Well, again, before Kevin Durant went out back in January, I think they were like 31-14. And then they went on to lose like 15 straight. So Brooklyn wasn't a bad team before KD's injury. They were a bad team. Once he got injured, James Harden quit. They had all that fiasco, and then they really couldn't recover. Kevin Durant coming back, just trying to rush back into shape. Kyrie in and out of the lineup. Ben Simmons, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? We know Ben Simmons is going to play next year. We know Kyrie's going to play next year. We know KD's going to play next year. And put, good role players around them. You'll be fine. I think Brooklyn's going to be fine next year. I think they're going to prove a lot of people wrong. They're going to run fast, and they're going to be everywhere down the court. So Brooklyn, in my opinion, will be number 4. Number 3, the Clippers. The Clippers added John Wall, and I know everyone's like, John Wall, he's so amazing. He hasn't really played basketball in, like 5 years. Hasn't actually played a game of basketball in 5 years. I haven't played a full season in 5 years. So, we got to put that into account. But again, the Clippers with Kawhi, with Paul George, we know that they missed Kawhi all of last year and almost made the playoffs. And now this year they're going to have Kawhi, they're going to have Paul George, they're going to have Marcus Morris, they're going to have what was that guy, Norman Powell, and all those other guys. They're going to have a good, lengthy team. So I think the Clippers are going to make some scary noise in the Western Conference. So they are my 3rd team. Number 2, Milwaukee. I got to give some props to Giannis. He went all out against the Boston Celtics. I think they're going to come back. Again, Chris Middleton's injury really affected them in key moments against the Celtics when they needed some clutch buckets down the stretch. And Chris Middleton, as we know, in the last playoff run, gave them those clutch buckets. So obviously they missed that. I think they're going to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. I don't think there's any fight in there. So I think the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the Eastern Conference and my number 2 team in my way too early rankings. Number 1, the champions, the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, they hosted up the trophy. Steph Curry's coming back. Draymond Green's coming back. Klay Thompson hopefully is going to come back better, more movable. He was kind of like a statue last season. He's going to come back. Jordan Poole is going to get extended. They might lose Kevon Looney, but they're getting Wiseman back, and Wiseman's probably like another Kevon Looney. So I think they're going to be good next year. They might add a couple pieces. They might lose a couple pieces, like they might lose Gary Payton 2 or Gary Payton Jr. So I think the Warriors are going to come back and be as good, probably be more talkative than ever, because I've seen Draymond Green talk all over social media. But I think the Warriors are the best team in the league right now. Obviously, they just won the trophy, and they're bringing basically everyone back. They might add a couple pieces, and we know how that system has, brought players back to life, like Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter. They brought Andre Iguodala back, and we just know how those players work in the system. They just flourish. They're like the Rams, right? They just flourish wherever they are. So, anyways, those are my way too early rankings. Tell me what you think. I think they're really good. I thought about this a lot. Again, I thought about putting teams higher. I thought about putting teams lower, but I'm going to settle with this because this is my way too early rankings. This is just based off of the draft, based off of recent acquisitions. Obviously, as we get more into the summer, we're going to see more acquisitions from other teams. So those are my way too early rankings. I hope you enjoy it. All right, up next is Something, Nothing, or Everything. Okay, so this is my segment called Something, Nothing, or Everything. Now, this is a segment where I give you three scenarios, and I tell you whether they're something, nothing, or everything. So, the first one, Denver's transaction today, the Denver Nuggets. So, today the Denver Nuggets traded Monte Morris and Will Barton for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Ish Smith from the Washington Wizards. So, I think this is everything. The only reason why I say this is everything is because Denver gets Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. We know Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was a huge part in that championship run by the Lakers last year, or 2 years ago, where they won the championship, where he was a 3-and-D player. He played amazing defense against Jamal Murray. He played amazing defense against Jimmy Butler and all those other guys. And also, he can hit open three-point shots. Almost as good as anyone in the league. So adding him is going to put a lot of weight off of Jamal Murray in defending the best point guard or the best shooting guard on the other team. So I think adding him is everything. It's huge, especially getting Jamal Murray back, getting Michael Porter Jr. back. Adding that core to the starting lineup is going to be huge for Denver. Look for them to get early leads and running up and down the court. All right, up next, I gotta do some football here because football is gonna be starting recently, and I'm in Texas. So, the Cowboys letting go Amari Cooper. I know this happened a while ago, but I think that this is something. So, the reason why I say this is something is because Amari Cooper, when Dak Prescott had Amari Cooper on the field, he was a different quarterback. You don't believe it? Look at the statistics. When Dak had Amari Cooper, I think he had a positive record or a winning record, but when he doesn't have Amari Cooper on the field, he has like a losing record. So that speaks for itself. I know they did it so that CeeDee Lamb can kind of flourish a little bit more, so you can get more touches, more catches. All that is true. We'll see how that happens. Again, the statistics show that when Amari Cooper is on the field, Dak Prescott is a better quarterback, and that's all that's going to matter, making Dak Prescott a better quarterback. So that is something. All right, number 3, Bradley Beal declining his $36.5 or $0.3 million contract with the Wizards, making him an unrestricted free agent. They did say that he is exercising this because he is eligible to sign the 5-year max extension with the Wizards. I think his max extension is like 200-something million. So he can collect the bag with the Washington Wizards, or he can sign a 4-year deal with another team. I don't think he's going to sign a 4-year deal with another team because I know Bradley Beal is one of those I'm really faithful guys. But he's chasing the money because Washington will give him anything to keep him, right? So I think that this is nothing because I think Bradley Beal is going to go back. Again, I'm filming this June 29, 2022. Who knows? He might be with the Lakers next week. We never know about this stuff. So I think that this is nothing because I think Bradley Beal has been chasing the bag for such a long time. I know he says he wants to build a culture here, but he doesn't really recruit players or do much of that stuff, at least publicly. So I think this is nothing. I think him declining just means he's going to ask for more money or actually accept the 5-year, something money that's going to make him the highest paid player in the league. So anyways, that's my something, nothing, or everything. I hope you enjoyed that segment. Up next is Fly on the Wall. Okay, so this is Fly on the Wall, and this is where I give you a video and I'm basically the fly on the wall and I tell you what I think of that video. So here's the video of Kyrie being asked if he's going back to the Brooklyn Nets.
Kyrie, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask this question. So you know,
Go ahead.
Do you want to be a Brooklyn Nets still?
Pass it to my left.
Lead the league in the
Now, in this video, Kyrie was asked, I think he attended some like award ceremony or thing or whatever. I don't know what it was. So Kyrie was asked if he's coming back to the Brooklyn Nets, and he's like, answer to my left or something like that. And he, at the time when he did that interview, we didn't know whether he was staying with Brooklyn or not. There was this whole, is he leaving? Is he not leaving? Is he gonna opt out? Is he gonna run away? Is he gonna betray Kevin Durant? None of us knew. Obviously, for me, I was like, Kyrie, opt out, join the Lakers for $6 million. We have a chance with you. We don't have a chance with Russell Westbrook. So for me, I was like, Kyrie, please opt out, go to the Lakers, make me happy because I've been miserable this whole season. So obviously, Kyrie did not do that. We know the answer to that. Kyrie opted in to his contract saying that I'm going to fulfill my 4-year commitment with the Brooklyn Nets. And, obviously, my 4-year commitment was Kevin Durant. So we know how that scenario turned out. Now, at the time, I didn't know what this meant. When I saw that video, I was like, ooh, Kyrie's leaving for sure because he's denying it. But Kyrie, he just wanted all the attention, and that's what he got. Like all the media outlets, Sports Center, First Take, The Herd, First Things First, Undisputed, they were all talking about the Kyrie drama. And, everyone was calling Kyrie a diva and all this stuff. And, really, Kyrie did it because he got the media attention. He got the media attention he really wanted. And for me, when players manipulate the media like that, I think it's funny. And I think it's smart of the player because they know what they're doing. A lot of players know what they're doing when they cause a scene or do something like that. Or they never give a for sure answer. They want the media to talk about it. And obviously the media, it's bad media because all the media does is talk crap about you. But I thought it was smart that he headlined every segment in all those major sports talk shows. He majored in all of them. I mean, you go back last week, Undisputed headlined Kyrie. First Take, Stephen A. had his time, talking crap about Kyrie. I mean, he was just very manipulative with what he did, and then he ended up with Brooklyn. So I thought it was amazing that Kyrie did that. I really wanted him to go to the Lakers. I still do. There's still hope, but it's very, very small. It's like a 2% chance now. So anyways, fly on the wall. Kyrie, what you did was funny. I liked it. I mean, you manipulated the media. Kudos to you. So my last segment is my top 10 favorite NBA players. Now, disclaimer. After my top 3 favorite players, there is a huge gap between 3 and 4, probably as big as the Grand Canyon. It's realistically a top 3 favorite player list, and then 4 through 10 are just players that I admire in that order. So I just wanted to let you guys know that because I don't want you to think that, oh, he actually likes this player. No, it's a top 3 player solely list. The rest are just kind of guys I admire. So anyways, let's get started with number 10. Number 10, Steph Curry. Steph Curry really, really earned my respect after his performance in the NBA Finals this year. I really like the way Steph kind of shimmies and does all these dances after he makes a 3-point shot. I think that's always been his game. He's always done that. And people now are just starting to realize that he's doing that. So, Steph Curry winning your 4th ring, you really earn my respect. You're number 10. Number 9, Jimmy Butler. Realistically, just because of what Jimmy Butler says in post-game, pre-game interviews, there was one where he talked about getting fined and how people want to fine him for whatever reason. And also his Big Face Coffee thing back in the bubble in 2020. I really like that. So Jimmy Butler, mostly because of his antics off the court, is why I like him. So Jimmy Butler is number 9. Number 8, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso was probably my 3rd favorite Laker when he was with the Lakers. He was just a tough player who put his head down and just worked. I really like his story. and he was just tough and he was fun. I really liked how people said the Caruso, and he had a couple gear like him and a goat and whatnot. So I never was able to buy it, but I really like Alex Caruso and I miss him. Number 7, KD. Now, the reason why I like KD is because of his social media responses to everyone. I feel like KD responds to everyone, and there's a funny segment on First Things First, which I'll actually show right here.
KD tweet yesterday was not one we put on the screen. The best KD tweet yesterday was, and I'm going to tell you because I just pulled it up, was Kevin Durant tweeting to a guy named A. Bynum and BK9419. Yes. Y'all let Twitter trolls get y'all riled up and got y'all insecure. He goes on from there. But then someone asks BK9419, why did he at you in this? You weren't even in the conversation. To which KD responds, y'all boys been mad since 2017, my G, meaning Kevin Durant has somewhere in his brain old anonymous Twitter folks who have been at him and just added that guy to the conversation. He wasn't even tweeting about it. To which I say, it's so amazing, good. But I've come around almost entirely on Durant.
Now, in this segment, Nick Wright talks about how KD included a fan who's been known to hate KD before in a conversation that he wasn't even involved in, just because he wanted to put them in that same group. And I thought that was hilarious because, Kevin Durant wasn't even talking to this dude. This dude wasn't even talking to KD at the time, and KD just included him. So that made me really like KD, and that makes KD my 7th favorite player in the league. Number 6, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis would probably be lower if he wasn't a Laker, but I'm trying to believe in AD. I'm crossing my fingers every season that AD stays healthy for at least, at this point, 60 games, because he missed 42 games last year, and I think 2 years ago, the 72-game season, I think he missed like 30-something. So I really hope AD gets on the court. He missed almost 2 full seasons in 2 seasons. Or he almost missed entire season in just 2 full seasons. So I really hope AD, stays healthy. So he's number 6. Number 5, Chris Paul. He used to be my 2nd favorite player, but ever since he joined the Phoenix Suns and beat LeBron in the playoff series, I haven't really liked him that much. And also, him and the Phoenix Suns were talking a lot this year. I really didn't like that just because he talked to my favorite team, which is the Lakers. So, Chris Paul, you moved to number 5, but you're still one of my favorite players, and I still admire you. I still remember the Clippers days that's when Chris Paul made me like him, during those Clippers days. Number 4, Luka Doncic. After this playoff run, I really like Luka Doncic. I think Luka Doncic was in my top 10 last year, but I think he was like 9 or 10 or something like that. But Luka Doncic just jumped all the way to 4. He's close to closing that gap between 3 and 4. But Luka Doncic, he's my 4th favorite player for sure, because I think he's going to be the next LeBron of the league, at least dominating wise, at least in the Western Conference. So Luka Doncic is number 4. All right, top 3. Now this is the actual players that I actually cheer for on a daily. These are guys that I check on every so often with stats and all that stuff. Number 3, Duncan Robinson. I know Duncan Robinson, I made a big deal about him being my 4th favorite player last year. Now he moves up to number 3. I really like him. I really like his podcast. I was really sad that he got benched during the playoff run for the Miami Heat. I don't understand that much. I mean, I think you could have played him a little bit more. But anyways, I'm not in the practice gym evaluating players like Spoelstra is. So, Duncan Robinson, hey, request a trade to go to the Lakers. We can always use another 3-point shooter on the team. Number 2, Ben Simmons. I know Ben Simmons hasn't played in a year, and a lot of people wonder why I like Ben Simmons so much. I actually watched Ben Simmons in high school, and he was with the team in Florida. I don't want to butcher their name, so I'm not going to say it. I watched him in LSU. I watched him in his first couple years in Philadelphia. I know he didn't play his first season, but his second season when he made the playoffs and helped Philadelphia be a 3rd seed, I watched him there, and that's where I kind of was like, Ben Simmons, he's so amazing. I really hope he developed a jump shot, or at least somewhat of a jump shot, to make him kind of more of a guardable player. He'll be amazing if he fixes his free throws, and I just really hope the best for Ben Simmons. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's unreliable. But I really hope for Ben Simmons, and, Ben Simmons is my guy. That's why he's number 2. Number one, obviously, LeBron James. LeBron James is my favorite player. He'll probably always be my favorite player, regardless of whatever he does and whatnot. So, LeBron James is number one. I don't think that's anything to be unsaid. I have, I'd say 20 to almost, I'd say about 20 LeBron jerseys in general, from Cleveland to Lakers to Miami. Again, obviously this one that I was given to by my students, that's enough to show you that I'm a huge LeBron fan. So anyways, those are my top 10 favorite NBA players. Why don't you share with me your top 10 favorite NBA players, or at least your favorite NBA player that's currently playing right now? I'd love to hear about it in the comments section. Anyways, thank you. I'm happy to be back. I'm going to try to do weekly episodes again. I've been trying to do weekly episodes for the past 3 months. Obviously, I haven't been able to get to it because, you know, life gets at me really, really fast. And editing these episodes is not easy, even though the quality is not that good. But, you know, regardless, I'm happy to be back. And, you know, thank you. I'm going to try to make this a weekly thing. Anyways, thank you.